This time I'm going to talk about decisions and how I plan a tour when I'm out with guests on guided tours. So the weather forecast for the next coming days have been really like a Tivoli, I don't know, yo-yo. One moment they promise rainstorm, next thunderstorm, then they promise dry and beautiful weather, and then next moment when you check, it's rainstorm and thunderstorm again. We started this tour from Kvikkjokk, and from Kvikkjokk it's a very steep uphill to a place called Snerak. And with me this time I have 12 students from Uppsala, and they are in Sweden to learn Swedish. I picked this place because some of the students are maybe experienced hikers and have done it before, hiking through Sark and things like that, and some of them, they are the first time hiking and camping probably. And they don't have their own equipment with them, of course, because some of them from US, they're from Germany, they're from all over the place, all over the planet actually. So they don't have the perfect gear with them either. And this place is good because there is a cabin, a shelter, and we can use that cabin. It's a really basic cabin, you will see it. We can use that cabin as a base camp, and we put the tent close to it. So tomorrow they promise rain, and then we do day tour from this place, and we don't need to carry the tent. That's also good when you are a beginner, or if you don't want to push too hard, is to leave the camp, walk one day without backpack, and if you're tired, if you have some problem with something, then you can just take a day off reading a book and just chilling out. It's also good when you have such a big group that it's toilets here. So therefore I picked this place. When you arrive to a place like this, the first thing I had to do is to look so all of the people in the group can start their work. So this time I show them how to put up a tent, and then they start putting up the tent. And I do that before I put up my tent, of course. And another time it could be something else that I had to do before I start to taking care of my stuff. So we have had dinner in the cabin, and now it's almost 12 o'clock, and we have midnight sun still up here in the north. The group are a little bit all over the place. Some are hiking up to the top over there, some is already in the bed, and we had to take care of this day now because tomorrow it will not be so great weather. So use the night now, and then we will be tired tomorrow, and then we maybe can take a power nap if it's rainy tomorrow. So now the sun is down under the horizon, and it starts getting a little bit chilly. It's also a weak wind all the time. So one decision we have made now is that we are going to use the evening now with the sun. So most of the people have been up on the top and looking at the sunset. And therefore we're having a little bit later morning tomorrow, so breakfast around 8 o'clock maybe. Another decision I made when I planned this tour is to stay at the same place for 2 nights. Because when you have a group like this, with some people are experienced hiker, some people are not experienced hiker, and the goal is not to push from A to B and make a long tour, then it's better to stay in one place for 2 nights, and then you don't need to pack down the whole camp. So you can just leave the camp and make a day tour with everything left in the tent and so on. So the goal with this decision isn't to stay dry. The goal with this decision is to stay comfortable. And I don't want to push people over the edge and make it to an extreme, challenging something. I want to keep it comfortable so people, when they're coming home, they have the feeling that they want more. The sun is now below the horizon since a while, and it starts getting more and more chilly. And I have both my wool thing on and my jacket, and I'm so happy I have all these clothes. So it's a little bit chilly. And sometimes when you have clear sky like this, it's possible that the temperature drop down below 0, but I don't know tonight. And I have one more decision to make, and that is, should I have a cup of tea before I go to bed or not? If I take a cup of tea, I probably had to go out and pee during the night, and that's not a big problem, but it's also good to be very well hydrated, so we will see what I'm doing. So it's a new day now, and I here in the shelter in the small cabin. Right now we're using it for as a group room where we having food and so on, so we can be protected from the weather. This is open for everyone, so if someone else comes, we also had to leave space for them. It's much more cloudy now, and I looked at the weather forecast, and now they promise thunderstorm again already around 12 o'clock. So I think that the decision we had to make now is try to being back here before 12. Because you don't want to hike up here on the bare mountain in thunderstorm. Thunderstorm isn't something you hike through. Thunderstorm is something you had to wait while it's passing by. Because especially on open terrain like this, you should not be on open lakes, or you should not be on the bare high mountains like this in a thunderstorm, especially if you're a big group like this. It's kind of risky then. And the consequence, if someone gets hit by a lightning, that's bad. So it's not an option. Good morning and welcome. Now we made a new decision, and that's to stop here and having a coffee, because now we feel some small drops of rain, and we have two options: either go back or take the chance to have a coffee. But I think the rain is not so long. So we stop here for a quick coffee, tea, and having something to eat, and then heading back to the camp. And as you see, we already have the rain clothes on, and that's the other thing you had to make decision about all the time. Should I put my rain clothes on, or should I put them on? When you're walking with rain clothes, you get wet from inside. When you're walking in rain without rain clothes, you get wet from outside. So what's wrong and what's right? I don't know if there is a clear answer on that. Is it over already? Myggring är rolig. Mosquitoes not fun.
Not fun.
Not fun at all.
Not fun, but I'm having a good time.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
It's still going. How much is it?
Yes, we managed to have a coffee break without too much rain. Now it's over and we're heading back to the base camp. Really good. The weather forecast was promising us rain for more or less the whole tour before we started out, and now we finally get a little bit more here. We are so lucky with the weather, so lucky. I'm happy that we have this cabin where we can have food. So now, right now, it's cooking and having dinner in here, and it's really, really nice. So my whole plan with this video was to filming 3 days heavy rain and thunderstorm when I'm out with the group. Because that was exactly what the weather forecast promised us. But in the reality, it was just tiny rain coming. No thunderstorm, no rainstorm, no bad weather at all. And it's nice for us that we had a tour here with not so bad weather. It will probably be really bad for the video because I had planned a totally different title and a totally different thumbnail and everything. Something that had been good for the video, for the algorithm. But this turned out to be just a normal mountain tour. What we can take with us from this is that even if they promise some weather, the weather forecast, it's maybe not what you get. And that's also important to remember. If they promise blue sky and no wind, it can still be heavy rain and thunderstorm and all that things. So this group are students from Uppsala and they study Swedish. And I think my Swedish teacher from school would be really not proud. I think she would be really worried if she knew that these students ask me about the Swedish language ask me about grammatic and things like that. It was not my strongest subject in school. I think she would ban me from open my mouth. Probably. I don't know. Anyway, out here in the mountain, if they ask me about the Swedish, I answer. Even if my Swedish isn't so good. I can talk and I grow up with it. And that's the same with my English. I talk because I want to talk, not because I talk perfect. And that's something for you to remember. Do things even if you don't make it perfect. It's not important to be perfect. Now, tomorrow we're packing up the camp and then we're heading back down to Kvikkjokk and then back to Jokkmokk. And for you guys, I want to say big thanks for all the nice comments and that you follow us on Patreon and Instagram and whatever. It's really nice. And I hope that you get something good out of these videos. Now I'm heading back to the tent and going into my sleeping bag. So see you next video. Ciao.